So today we are going to be pouring the middle of our box. Something to think about, and I have some other examples, is what color you want in the middle. Now, if you are straying away from a color that is on the outside, then you probably want to do a neutral color, a light brown, a white, a black. But normally, we're going to pick a color that's already been used on the outside. I wouldn't introduce a new color. For instance, on this one, I would probably choose the pink or the yellow because we don't have a ton of it on the outside, and it will just bring back that highlight and create some emphasis there. On this one, they have this bright blue on the outside, so we're going to go back to bright blue, and it's going to naturally make your eyes go to that emphasis part on the outside. The emphasis on this piece is definitely like the octopus tentacles. So I think I would go back to the red on the inside, and that's going to make a natural, it's going to make it very natural going from the octopus handle into the inside. So think about what is the best to use. The last class didn't necessarily clean up the best, but up here we have cups. You're going to use these. Make sure that there's no other glaze in them. And you're going to need a paintbrush. So again, make sure that the paintbrush is clean. Most consistency of the glaze jars are going to be like a milkshake. Now, some of them might have already been used because of the last classes, because you pour back into your glaze jar. So if it seems really thin, this is not very thin. Like, this is about milkshake consistency. I'm going to fill the cup about halfway. Then I want to make it to like a thin milkshake, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Do not add too much water. Then you take your brush, mix it evenly. And this is going to be an easy way to do the middle and quick and coat it very well. So I pour it into the inside. Then I'm going to go around very slowly. And I'm trying to get all of my edges. And then when you get close, you are going to pour it back out. I'm dripping. That's kind of why it's helpful to do it on the sink, but if you have a paper towel down on your table, that works too. And then I turn it. Now, I'm going to take my brush. There's a few spots right there, like where the white is, that I'm just going to touch up. So I'm going to touch it up. And then the nice thing about where I've already glazed, it's not porous. So if I just take a sponge, and granted you have the smaller sponges, I can just wipe that off, and that's going to come off so easily because it's nice and sealed. And then if I have any marks on the outside, I want to do the same thing. I want to wipe those off. Because if I don't, it will bleed in and it won't fire in. Now, if there's any areas on the outside that are not glazed, like for instance, when I turn this over, I see, oops.
Forgot about that.
No big deal. Yep, I kind of did. I was trying to show on the video, but like you see a little bit where he still has white spots on the outside. So I'm going to get that red glaze and I'm going to touch up the outside. Now, if you put glaze over glaze, like let's say he didn't like this red and he wanted to change it to orange or some other color, you glaze the whole thing, this isn't porous anymore, it's sealed. So it's not going to accept it. Most likely it's going to run down it. If there's touch-up parts, that's fine, but don't put a whole entire layer on it, okay? So yeah, he's got some areas to touch up. And then after you get done with this, you will put it in the kiln room on the back cart. What you have left over, you're going to pour back into the jar. So if you find that your glaze is really runny, then it's probably already watered down and you don't need to add the water. And then you would wash this out, you'd wash out your brush, you'd go back. Alright, next, pumpkins. If our pumpkins dried out on Friday and they are ready to glaze, walk with me. I put out lots of different colors back here. I just pulled them and I pulled the test tile. So I have a test tile that kind of puts them all on the same one. And then I have individual test tiles. So if you're wanting green for the stem, I have regular green. I got this like Popeye's favorite green. It's a little bit darker. And you can put it underneath a color too. So we can mix and match and layer these. This tiger tail is nice. Golden oak, it's a lot darker than the actual test tile, but that's kind of like a squash color. The sandstorm has a little bit of orange in it. And I put out all of these. If you want to do the crackle, like I did the crackle on mine, it's a two-step process. These ones I want back in order at the end of the period. But I just thought it might be good to get out ones that kind of have that pumpkin feel to them. If you don't want to use these, you would rather use blues or different colors, that is fine too. So I just pulled the ones that I thought everybody might like. Again, you can mix and match, you can layer, but when we are layering, I want you to do one full coat, wait for that to dry, then do the next coat, wait for that to dry. I don't want you like mixing them in liquid form. Good? Ready to go.